I want to talk to you about travel anxiety. Travel anxiety and anxieties that you feel in public places are not fun to experience. Now, let's just take it back and dissect these anxieties. This is my, I don't know, something dissect. Travel anxiety, from my experience and my research, stems to two things. Number one, the fear of abandonment, which would probably go back into your childhood, and the poor confidence in your self-concept. Now, your self-concept is how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself. Now, going back to the fear of abandonment, perhaps something happened to you early in your childhood where your parents were pretending to leave without you, or some scenario relative to you feeling abandoned, and you didn't deal with it as you grew up. You took it with you. And as you travel from home, the further you get from home, the more uncomfortable you become because you feel subconsciously like you're going to be abandoned. You can't get back home if you go a certain distance. Now, living with anxiety, you don't have a specific number or mileage that you feel, okay, well, we got past 75 miles. Once we get to 76, I'm going to freak out. It doesn't happen like that, and you probably already understand. But the best way to deal with travel anxiety is to prepare yourself for it before you need to travel. I find that if you create your own schedule to travel on, let's just say you do it for, I don't know, the heck of it. You want to get over this. Drive 75 miles and then acclimate to that. And then go home if you need to, or go another 25 miles and then acclimate. But the thing you want to make sure you do is have fun during your trip. And you want to make sure that you feel physically good too. You want to make sure that you've got just enough food in your belly where you're not full but you're content. You're not drowsy and dozing off, but you're wide awake and you're feeling good, and you want to be in a peppy mood. You want to get yourself psyched up to do it. You want to get yourself excited so that the trip itself is going to be more fun. Now, you might experience some discomfort via the anxiety during the trip, but I would recommend you doing the exercise videos doing the exercise breathing that we talked about in a previous video. Wow, I can't talk today. Your self-concept is how you see yourself. Now, your self-concept is relative to your comfort zone. Now, if you think that you're going to get beyond 70 miles from home and then you're going to start feeling anxiety, that's a sign right there into your subconscious mind that you are not completely confident with yourself, or you can't see yourself being completely confident in that situation. So my advice to you would be to picture yourself very far from home, and picture yourself having a great time, being confident, feeling good, and having a great time. That is going to help you get past the hurdle. Now, if you've got to travel 100 miles from home, imagine yourself 1,000 miles from home on a beach, enjoying some sort of fruity drink and watching people surf. I don't know, it depends where you live, but what I want to really convey is picture yourself way further from home, having a great time than you actually need to go on your trip. That'll help you subconsciously to deal with that. And keep telling yourself that you're going to have a great time. Don't let those what-ifs come in there. And if they do, if you get a what-if, say, so what? You need to have that so what mentality when it comes to those what-ifs that try to sabotage your thinking. And I'll talk more about that in a future video. Anxiety is about being in public places. Now, when I was a kid, I used to deal with this a lot. I used to have this fear, actually, and this is going to be silly, and I've never really shared this with the group before. But I had this fear that during school assemblies, they were going to go around with tongue depressors and make us all vomit. It was this really weird and unlogical, illogical, silly thinking that I had about being in public, and this, spun out of control as I grew older. But it wasn't until I was seeing a psychotherapist that we explored, why did I have that thought to begin with? Well, that thought was based on a couple of things. Number one, my friend Nick throwing up on his desk in 2nd grade. That freaked me out. Number two, it was I got sick at school a couple days later. Whatever he had, I caught, and I was able to get home, but just in time because, well, things came spilling forth and blah, blah, blah. You probably don't want to know the details, but I learned what the root of that anxiety was, and I was able to deal with it. And I want to encourage you to do that as well. Being in public, anxieties, or public anxieties themselves, have also been linked to having, well, a sad heart. Or, not want to say depressed, but living with some, what I would call deep blue feelings. And I'm not talking about the ocean or the sky, but I'm talking about sad feelings. Now you may need to explore what is causing you to feel sad, or maybe you don't even feel sad, but those things are still locked in you. I would encourage you to explore your heart and to find those things that are weighing it down and to purge them. Share with somebody you trust, somebody who can empathize with you. That's very important. Don't just share with somebody who's going to listen, because if they can't empathize with you, it's not going to help you to get everything out. So I would encourage you to do that. I have faith in you, and I know that you can become the person you desire to be.